All right, so I have Richard Tilley with me today, King Tilley, the legend. No, we're not related. I'm Tillery, he's Tilley, but I feel like you're honestly my brother. Like you have touched my soul. I don't know what it is. I know you have a connection with a lot of people, but you've really touched me. And we had the opportunity to hang out a few months ago, and you said something to me that just it hit me hard and it's really stuck with me. You said the term be a lighthouse, not a tugboat. And that just hit me hard. And it's been the inspiration for this quarter's subscription t-shirt for L.U.M. And I just want to thank you, first of all, for inspiring that. And I want everybody to know where that came from and how that came about and what that means to you. So would love to hear a little bit about your story.
As far as my story goes, I was always like, I didn't really have any parental guidance as a kid. I kind of always leaned into like living at other people's houses because I never liked being at home. And there was nothing like abusive or anything like that going on at home. My parents were always gone and there was really nobody to tell me what was right from wrong. And so I kind of just figured it out while I was walking around in my neighborhoods, playing at the park, staying at people's houses. And I think that lack of guidance and like having like a direction in life kind of led me I just kept going down these different paths. And then one path that I ended up going down was the path of drugs and alcohol. And that one grabbed onto me for a significant amount of my life. I was always on and off. There was a couple of times where I took it too far and then I would kind of dial it back and then somehow it would reappear again in my life down the line. And then I would take it too far again. And the last time that I did this, I realized that I had no power, like I had no control over what was going on around me. And I had two daughters at the time. I had another one on the way. My wife was pregnant at the time. And I just decided like, I'd rather my family be without me than to be with me there constantly, like being a source of pain for them. So I felt like if I was gone, that would all end for a lot of people, not only just my family, but, friends and stuff like that. And I tried to take my life a few days before my daughter was born. And somehow I woke up the next day and I knew in that moment that I wasn't meant to die right then. And so I committed to just quitting everything I didn't need meetings and rehab. I tried this, I tried that, and none of it really ever connected with me. I knew that if it was going to get done, I have to do it. So I just committed. From that moment forward, I never drank another sip of alcohol and haven't used any drugs. And there's a part of me that feels like I really did die that night. Like there was a part of me that died that night. And so with that, my rebirth was me figuring out how to rebuild this new person that I wanted to be. I knew my conscience was always telling me like I wasn't doing the right thing, but I didn't know how to like not do the wrong thing. I just kept doing whatever it is that I knew to do. And once I started looking into how to change my life, I came across a book that it might be called Lighthouse. I'll have to get back to you on what the actual name of the book is. But in this book, it explains like being a lighthouse for other people. And what that means is like, there's a lot of people like me, like when I found out how to save my life and how to build these new habits and how to be proud of myself and how to be productive, I found myself always trying to save people. Like, hey, you don't have to be like that. I know you're struggling. Do this. And I would go constantly chase after these people and look for them because I felt like it was my duty to help them get out of that situation because I know what it felt like to be in that situation. And so I found myself getting exhausted because I was chasing after people who weren't ready to be saved in a sense. And so I'm giving all my energy to this person, all my love, showing them all the habits, waking up early, checking in with them, trying to get them on a better path when they weren't ready to do that. And that actually exhausted me. Like I was actually like, am I doing something wrong? Like, what is this? And when I read that book, it explained to just do everything that you're going to do in place. be a shining light so that the people can come to you instead of you chasing after them like a tugboat would. A tugboat has to go when the ship is broken in the ocean, has to go out there, exhaust itself, pulling the ship back in, instead of just, if there was a lighthouse there in place, the people wouldn't have wrecked and nothing would have happened, because they would have seen, there would have been an illumination for them to see what not to do. And so people would naturally attract to you that really want the help, as opposed to me trying to find people that I thought needed help. So that made it way less exhausting for me. And now I just do my thing, and people kind of just like, they just come to me and they ask me questions. I give them some information, they apply it, and they realize it works. And then the only thing that I ever ask anybody is, when I do give them good advice, is to pay it forward. Once you see that this works for you, do it for somebody else. You don't necessarily have to find somebody else, but be a lighthouse for somebody else so that they can come to you and you give them that information as well.
Ah, so good. So good. Thank you for sharing that and being so transparent. I think your story touches me especially deep, because I did lose my brother to addiction. So he took his life because of that. And looking back, it's natural to want to be that tugboat, to want to change everything, to want to make it right. And you're right. We can't fix it until people are ready. And if we're just that shining bright light that they can come to, that's what really matters. So
absolutely.
Such good advice, and so true. So thank you for inspiring us for this shirt. And I think your story is going to touch so many people. And I'm just so proud of you. I mean, you are killing it in the industry, in your life. I love seeing your family. I love seeing you thrive. You really just have become like a lighthouse for our entire industry. So for those L.U.M subscribers that don't know, Richard is installer for Rock. He installs presses, but more than that, you're also doing some marketing. Tell us a little bit more about what you're doing in the industry.
Well, with Rock specifically, I am officially, I guess you could say, a technician. Like you said, I fly around the country, and when somebody gets a new piece of equipment, I'll install it and train them on how to operate it. And then I do like the how-to videos, for the equipment for Rock, and some social media stuff, some of the content stuff, just have fun with it. I like it when like Ryan and I get together and we just bouncing ideas off each other, and then we film a bunch of stuff and then go about our day. Right. But he always has a lot of really funny ideas that I wouldn't normally think about, but then I just record it and then it works out. So it's pretty cool. Now, as far as like what I do, aside from that, is I've been blessed with the opportunity to go in some of the highest level shops. And I'm always on like a data collecting mission. When I'm inside these shops, I'm watching their processes. I'm watching how they do things. I'm asking questions. How'd you mix that? How's that print so soft? What'd you do? What's your cure temperature? What's your angles and your squeegees and your flood bars? And I'm asking all these questions because I like to take that data and then go ahead, and when I'm, working at a newer shop that may not even understand how any of that stuff works, and I'm giving them like the secret sauce of how this successful company is having these amazing prints, and I'm able to deliver that to the people that wouldn't normally have that type of information. That's something that I really take a lot of pride in, because I really love the industry, and I'm really like, I don't know how to explain it. I love it so much that it's all I think about all the time, for the most part. And then that actually is like another channel for me to help people, is because instead of me just doing the basic install, like, hey, this is how the press works, this is how to make the squeegee move forward and back, this is how you glue your pallets. That's, what I mean? Like, I'm giving them like the whole experience, especially people who have no idea how to print. They're printing at a high level in just a few days after me being there.
Yeah.
So they don't have to go through the crazy learning curve.
That's what I love about you. You're an amazing technician, but I think you take it one step further with your passion. And then beyond that, I truly love that you're all about relationships, and you're really there to spread love in the grand scheme. Like you're magnetic. Everybody's drawn to you. You bring out this bright light, which is, I think, is where we connected. Like I can just see that through you, and I can see that you're spreading love. So in this industry, I mean, there's so much cool stuff that we do, but I think ultimately it's about relationships. It's about lifting people up. And
Mhm.
I'm just so glad that our paths crossed and that we had this connection and that we can both come together and be a lighthouse and spread the message of being a lighthouse.
But what's really cool is all of this happened since I started working with rock. You know, it was kind of like that, the conduit that led me to like being able to do all these things. You know, I've always heard that that business is just is a conduit for personal growth. So you know how they always say like your business will never outgrow you, and if it does, it's going to end up coming back down to whatever level you're at. So I happen to have this conduit where I have access to people that I wouldn't have normally, that I can learn from and grow from, and then take that and teach it to other people. You know, it's what more could you ask for, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think you and Rock are a match made in heaven.
For sure.
It's
Agreed.
incredible. Yeah.
You hear that, Joel?
Oh, I love Joelle. It's amazing.
Yeah,
So we need to take a Portugal trip. I didn't make the last one due to COVID. So
yeah,
let's do this.
I would love to go there. I've been waiting
Well,
for-
Ryan, whoever's listening.
Just one last thing. What's really cool is that by you paying it forward the way you're doing, by creating this campaign and doing this shirt, you're spreading the message. I just passed it to one person, and that one person took it and spread it to the masses. Like, you've never realized, and like, the power of just one simple conversation. You know, I didn't think that you would take anything from that. You know, it's just, I was just telling my experience, you know, and for you to actually have heard that, because obviously it resonated with you, and then you did something about it. You actually paid it forward, which is all that I ask people to do. So thank you for paying it forward.
No, thank you. And thank you for being authentic and sharing all that, because you're right. Our story means a lot to a lot of other people sometimes. And I think if we're just authentic and we put it out there and we're ourselves, it goes a long way.
Yeah, everyone seems to think that they're on some kind of island where their experience is theirs and theirs alone. You don't realize there's so many other people that are going through the same thing. And sometimes they just need to hear somebody say that one thing to make drastic change in their life. So,
Sure.
yeah. All right. Well, I'll let you get back to your day.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Great to see you.
Yes.
Hope to see you in person soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. See ya.
See ya.